he's actually been dating Amari Bailey's mom.
Interesting.
I wanted to ask you guys, they're both kind of in this entertainment industry. Does she have a duty to kind of shield her son from that and have like two separate worlds, or is everything cool?
Hey son, I'm out here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Drake's like the biggest rapper in the world.
What kind of modeling was she doing?
She's kind of built like an IG thought a little bit. So
Oh.
I don't want to put that on her, but like,
Because I'm more like you, where I don't mind putting all of my eggs in one basket because I like to be present. Like if I was on The Bachelorette and if there was one person I was feeling and I was just like, it's a waste of time, I would probably just end the show and be like, I'm feeling this person. Like, you want to leave the show with me?
There's no more episodes.
Yeah, there's no reason for me to be.
That's crazy. You do that
It's
too?
just like, yeah, we're just like.
I see the connection here. You know,
Yeah.
Snell's single as well.
Oh,
I see the connection here.
never has no chill.
I'm looking out for you, bro.
Thanks, bro. I
Mom's
appreciate
here right
Right,
now.
no, he's really handsome. I like the
Let's do this.
mustache.
We caught the Olympics because there's people there who had crazy sacrifices. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at the whole Sha Cari thing. I'm like, there's certain sacrifices you have to make.
Right.
And she chose not to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Smoking weed. I'd like to smoke weed and still run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he couldn't do that.
Exactly.
So I can't boycott the Olympics for that.
And she did know the rule.
And she knew the rule.
She
It's
knew
written
that it was
right
illegal.
there.
She knew that before she did that. So whatever she was, everybody thinks that they can change those pee tests up. But, on certain levels, you have to actually pee in front of the people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not one of those things that you can just hand it down, or sneak something in the cup, or, everybody thinks, oh, okay, I'll drink pickle juice for 48 hours or 72 hours. That's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
But I think now I think it's our time to step up, be held more accountable in everything that we do, and be stronger.
For sure.
I think that the black card should be played fairly and with justice. And it should be done smart.
With the right intention. Yeah, I think.
Exactly.
Thank you for saying smart too, because sometimes we throw it out there because we know the power it has.
Right.
And in every situation, it's not going to work out like that.
Right.
For
And
me,
especially right now,
It's not
in these times.
I just want to live in a place where it's fair.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, if I don't want to be put, using it as like an advantage, I don't want any sort of advantage.
Yeah.
I just want it to be fair. Everybody be equal, like actually.
Yeah, because that's
I mean?
what we're fighting for. We're fighting for everybody to have equality. We don't want
Absolutely.
to have our black power and saying that we don't want anybody else to have power. Because I read that, I was telling you about that last year, and I read MLK's book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos, Our Community. And he talks about just to be mindful of what we're asking for, like what we're shouting out, what we're repeating and manifesting, what's trendy. And he brought that up. Like when you scream Black power in these streets, what are you really asking for? Do you only want to have power and equality, or do you really want equality for everybody? And I was like, wow, he's right. We need to think about that. And in this case, for sure, because I was getting so frustrated when I saw even graphics being made, like saying like let her run. I'm like, no, y'all. And I used to run track in elementary. Like a lot of people don't know this, but I fell in love with track when I was a little girl. And if I didn't go to school for the arts, I definitely would have went to school for track. So I was like, no, that is a huge sacrifice every single day. Every time you go to practice, it's a big sacrifice. And it requires a tremendous amount of discipline to push your body to that level, but then mentally, spiritually. So it's like, no, the rules need to apply for everybody. Yeah, and especially when we talk about Black excellence. And so then it takes me back to that idea. I'm like, well, if we're talking about that, preaching that, yelling that, like Black excellence, what does that mean to us? And it definitely should apply for this as well.
Yes, yes.
Well, welcome back to the podcast. I want to welcome our guests. I'll go ahead and introduce this thing. I'm Eric. This is my boy Snell. And this is the ModeratelyFly podcast.
Episode 7. We got it right.
Episode 7?
We got it right this
Okay,
time.
it's actually
Episode 7. Some of our viewers commented. They were like, yes, episode 6. So we were wrong.
We made a mistake last
Yeah, we said it's fine.
It's fine.
It just lets us know like we're really in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But we're joined today with two incredible guests. Amber Pickens and her mother, Miss Windsor.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
It's really funny how how they got to be on the podcast.
I was gonna say, tell the story.
I'm gonna
Tell
let the
the story.
He finally came over. I'm always asking him. I'm like, "Where's Eric at?"
Yeah,
Tell the story.
so Amber is really good friends with my girlfriend Iman. And she always has these like get-togethers at the crib and everything, and I just usually don't go. I usually have something going on.
Yeah.
And we kind of did. We were recording that same day.
Yeah,
the last
we were
episode.
recording the same day.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
right.
Yeah,
It was 4th of July.
4th of July.
You did
so I
say
went
that.
over there, and I wasn't really expecting anything, but I had a great conversation with you two about dating and
Yeah.
the industry and the
Erica's-
mother-daughter dynamic. It was such a good conversation. I was like, bro, Snell, we gotta have them on the pod.
It's so
bro.
funny because he was trying to explain everything that happened, like all the jokes and stuff. And I was laughing a little bit, but I was like, damn, I really had to be there.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
really
you gotta
right.
come to the next
And
barbecue.
he invited me, and no
You
reason
were like,
I didn't go is because he said 125th. He kept saying 125th, and I was like, "Damn, that's a long travel back from you home."
Yeah.
But I didn't go, and I should have gone. But it's all right. Y'all here today. The
I'm here
people, the
today.
audience, everyone's gonna hear y'all. So
I also feel like every time we have Black women on the podcast, I feel like I just leave with a little bit more knowledge than I had before. I always
Okay.
have some different insight and perspective that
Okay.
it's always like less disclaimers, you know.
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
disclaimer.
I always have to
Okay.
preface things, but I feel like when we have like, our Black queens here,
Yeah.
it's
It was like a sense of protection.
Yeah, yeah,
and like
yeah.
learning. That's about to
Yeah.
happen. We're here though.
But no, we were talking earlier about this Amari Bailey situation.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys heard? Do you guys know Amari Bailey?
What happened with Amari Bailey?
Okay, so basically,
Run it down, Eric. Tell 'em.
Amari Bailey is a basketball prodigy. He's a high schooler. He's a senior. He's getting ready to go to college.
Okay.
Gets a lot of attention from celebrities. They're always at his games. He plays basketball with LeBron's
son.
son.
Bronny.
Yeah, Bronny. And Drake started going to a couple of his games.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I already know where this is going.
Drake started going to a couple of his games, and everyone was like, wow, Drake's really spotting the talent early. That's just what he does.
He's really scouting, huh?
Yeah, really scouting out talent. Come to find out, he's actually been dating Amari Bailey's mom.
Oh, okay. I just saw something
Yeah.
about this last
Yeah.
night, and I didn't click it. I was like, "Who is Amari Bailey?" I thought it was like somebody that was already in the NBA.
Yeah.
Let me take it a step
Wow.
further.
Go
ahead.
Last week, I saw a video of Drake at this game, and it was this viral video because there was this big booty woman next to him, and everyone was like, "Yo, like, why is she sitting next to Drake?" And they were
Who is
just throwing out
this?
what is this? What's going on? Fast forward, they actually went on a private date. A couple of days ago?
Yeah.
At a huge stadium, and it was the same woman. So this is like the same person that all of our intentions.
Yeah.
They figured it out.
They figured it out.
Yeah, they figured it out.
So I was like, what better way? I was like, we
They
have
were-
two great people to,
Yes.
to
They
They were
discuss
kind
it
of
with.
dating,
Yes.
kind of behind the scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
do-
likes women with big booties.
Oh yeah. He likes a thicker woman.
At the time, no one knew it was her. We just thought it was not even a fan, but just someone sitting next to him at this game.
Wow.
We didn't think anything of it.
I have
Is
to.
this the first game where was it? It was somewhere where him and Michael B were next to each other.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the
I
same
saw
game.
that video.
Same game,
Yeah,
yes.
pictures. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys.
Look, she's,
here we
she's
go.
getting all the
Here we go.
information.
Interesting.
I wanted to ask you guys, does the mom have some sort of does she have some sort of duty to shield her personal relationships from her kid? Because they're both in the industry. Do you know what I mean? She's in the industry, she's a model or former model.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're both kind of in this entertainment industry. Does she have a duty to kind of shield her son from that and have two separate worlds, or is everything cool?
Hey, son, I'm out here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Drake's the biggest rapper in the world.
What kind of modeling was she doing?
I don't know. She's kind of built like an IG thought a little bit. So I don't want to put that on her, but
It was
That's
probably
how
that
it could
type of
possibly
stuff,
be.
maybe.
yeah.
Well, I mean, my thought is always a mother's first priority is to her child. So it's definitely to the son. And especially because it is a son. She doesn't want to, at least I didn't. You don't want your child to be exposed to you just dating 1,000 people and creating this family affair with
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
You know, I know some mothers are not against that. I think that it leads it leads sometimes to that child kind of getting a certain thought about their parent.
Yeah.
And I don't care who you are, if you're rich, poor, or whatever, some think that if you're poor, well, it's great to date, somebody. And, I think all Black movies and, a lot of films show where the mom is in the projects or something.
Yeah.
And
He comes and saves
the
them.
guy
Tyler Perry
saves them,
Really?
And it becomes this instant great family kind of
Right.
thing. But what if in that film she had 3 or 4 different guys?
Yeah.
Playing that same role. At some point the kids get kind of confused. I mean, he's high school now.
I think he's a senior.
Yeah, so
he's
they're
getting
high
ready to go to
school.
college.
So, it's a little different the older they get, but still it leaves an impression.
For sure.
And a boy doesn't want his mom probably
Sought
with everybody
after like
else
that,
coming
yeah.
in and out the door all the time.
For sure.
You never want to see that. So I just think moms have the responsibility to their child first.
For sure.
And I think when you have a girl, it's especially the same thing. You don't want your daughter to see guys coming in and out like the revolving door. I think because it leaves that impression that that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it becomes one of those you just keep the cycle going.
Yeah. That's interesting. That reminds me of the conversation that we were having on the 4th of July about how different generations kind of view dating. Like I was always under the impression, like when I was dating, it was always like I never would see multiple people at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm a true sap.
Yeah.
So like when I'm interested in somebody, that's what I'm interested
That's
in.
how I am too.
That's where the attention is.
That's
Yeah,
where all my
that's what I
attention
mean.
is. You know what I mean? And I know that you have some thoughts on this.
Well, I think my thought was, and this is what I always say, I use that term overindulge.
Yeah. Talk to us about it. Talk to us about it.
Here we go.
Now,
Okay, get comfortable. Get comfortable.
this was my thought.
Okay.
This was my thought process, and I know this is what we were kind of talking about. I think sometimes there's a tendency for the millennials to get so caught up in a relationship so fast because they're only seeing that one person.
Okay.
And they see that one person, and in dating, everybody's putting their best foot forward. When you
Right.
first start dating, probably for the first 6 months, it's usually always the best foot. You're not always seeing the stuff that we're hiding.
You have to.
The craziness that we keep
I'll wait till
in the
she's done.
closet,
Right.
And so my thing is,
Taking mental notes.
you don't want to overindulge,
Okay. See,
to the
now
point
wow.
to where you just soaking it all up. You're eating it all up so fast.
Right.
And you're becoming serious so fast, before you really get a chance to kind of just enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
You take it slow.
Overindulge.
Because I'm telling you, it was a pastor once that said the 6th month is
That's what I
usually
was
where
about to
you
say.
are. At 6 months, usually
You should know if you want to be
you
with that
either
person.
wanting to be with that person for life,
Yeah.
or you're just kind of playing the game.
But that's what I was gonna say. Because you've always taught that to me about that 6 months being so important. But you just said that we're supposed to just like. So
But
what are we supposed to do with it?
Well,
I feel like she's saying because in the 6 months, I would want to put
Yeah.
best foot forward.
everything in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Into that
think that
relationship.
at the 6th month, that's where your friends come in. If it's a female, then homeboy need to go play golf, go play basketball, go drink a beer, watch some football with the fellas, just to see how he blends. Because if the guys are very close to you, then they know.
Yeah.
They know you, and then they know if he's going to fit in. Because then he can, the guy can just be himself.
I don't know if I can.
And the
subscribe
same
to
for
that.
the female.
You're saying wait till 6 months to do that.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying.
oh, wow.
I mean the friend thing. The friend thing is interesting to me.
What?
Oh, if they
the hanging around the
can
guys?
Yeah, that's interesting.
What
'cause I
can't
hear
you do?
people say that, but
Oh no, they'll know. And just like the females, if and I remember growing up, pretty much all of my friends, I met all of their wives, and I knew if it was a keeper or, Foul 13, that one, or
I feel like my female friends, like, they're harsher on.
We
They were
probably
harsher on
are.
any woman I've ever
We
dated.
probably are.
Yeah.
But we're harsh on the guy because you're considered like a brother to us. And we know you, and it's almost like that protection of you. We don't want just anybody walking in the door to you. And the same usually with the female.
I feel like my male friends are a little tougher.
Yeah, I think the male friends would be tough. I think Amber has enough guys that are solid brothers in her life.
Yeah,
and
they can
friends.
be buttholes about it too.
Yeah. And I think when they go out with a guy, because see, the guy will let down all of his guard when he's with the fellas. And the females is a little harder because, we can be a little catty and, we can throw shade a little bit more. But a female is going to feel just a little bit more comfortable talking to other females about herself,
Yeah.
Yeah. With the females, usually we go eat, catch a flick or something,
Yeah.
just what the girls do just for bonding. It could be going to get a manicure, pedicure.
Little girls.
Amber, how do you? I saw you had some faces.
She did.
While your mom was going
Well,
through
just
this.
because I think the beginning, just the idea of the overindulging, I think is because I'm more like you, where I don't mind putting all of my eggs in one basket because I like to be present. I don't like to force. If I like somebody, I'm in it, and I don't want to force myself to date somebody just to like be open. And I feel like she's more so just like date, just to like meet people. But I'm like, if it doesn't, like to me, I don't think some people are even worth the first date. If you don't have that, don't force a first date. Just be like, oh, I went on the first date with this person, just try it out. Because sometimes you could just meet somebody, instantly feel like, is this really worth the first date, or are we just gonna waste a few hours of our time? And then usually, if you feel like you're gonna waste time, you do, because it's like you have to have some type of chemistry to even make you be excited about going on the first date. And when I am like all in, and like even if it's the early stage of dating somebody, it's not like I'm like possessive, like you can't date anybody else, or I might not even share with them that I'm not talking to anybody else. But me personally, I'm like, oh, if this is the only person I'm feeling, this is the only person I'm feeling. Like if I was on The Bachelorette, and if there was one person I was feeling and I was just like, it's a waste of time, I would probably just end the show and be like, I'm feeling this person. Like, you want to leave the show with me?
There's no more episodes.
Yeah, there's no reason for me
Done.
to keep like letting these guys kiss me and stuff if I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah.
It's like cut.
Like, cut.
Well, my thing is, and I think a lot of times what you don't think about is the future.
Yeah.
You've got to know where you're trying to get to, and you've got to be able to see that person in that picture.
So what I want to, we won't say any names or anything, but I want to get into a little bit of like your dating history and like how that's gone with how you feel about some of the guys that, she's dealt with and whatnot.
Honestly,
and why those guys didn't work.
What worked and what didn't work?
Well, I usually, I've never been dumped. I always break up with everybody.
Yeah.
So, I guess none of it works. I'm always like, oh, no. Which is good, though, because I feel like she says I overindulge. I'm like, I actually know how to, cut the cord. But I don't know.
She does cut the cord very well.
Because he
asked you the question.
Well, okay, we'll start with, my high school sweetheart. What'd you think about high school, college guy?
Well, this is my thing. I always paint the picture.
Right.
I look at the picture and I look at the full picture, and it's kind of like you go, can you see that in the picture? And as you're continuing to paint the picture, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, and do you match?
Which everybody thought that we were going to be together forever. Because I'm like the artist, and they were like, oh, she's going to Juilliard, and this guy's a big athlete, and he's going to such and such. And he had this promising career, such a bright, he really is just like a superstar. Like no matter what he does, he just has that about him where it's like
he has that personality.
He's for sure hometown hero. He even actually saved her life. And so one time he saved this kid's life when we were at the mall. This kid fell into the fountain. He picked him up. I was like, you really are like a Captain America
So
type
did you,
of guy.
and Mom, in painting that picture, did you see something not working?
Well,
The family.
it was more of the family. It was more of his family. And we both agreed on that. And I think it was kind of when you paint that picture, that Christmas picture, that Thanksgiving picture, how are the dynamics going to play?
Okay, when painting the picture, are you also like allowing for potential?
No, we
And,
always
like,
look at potential.
People
Yeah.
changing. People
We
can
always look at
change.
potential.
Families can change.
Yeah.
Because it's even like him.
Yeah.
We thought, well, the family ain't changing.
Yeah.
You know, when we get to be old guns.
I feel like
Oh,
naturally
God. You can
women, we
kinda see
already.
that.
I feel like
Oh,
women,
God,
that's what we have
pretty
to work
much.
against because we naturally look for
Yeah.
potential in men. And
We
it's
always
that
do.
motherly instinct. And somebody said it.
We do. I think
Somebody
we do.
said it the other day. They were like, "We all have that motherly instinct, but we need to know that that's for our children and not for our men." I was like, "Wow, that's really deep."
Yeah.
because we do that with men, and that's usually
do.
why we'll hold on like way too long because we're like the potential, and it's like this is not your son, this is your boyfriend, and that energy you're talking about it gets to the point where it's too much potential. So
Correct.
I naturally always look at the potential, and I think she does too.
We do.
but
I do.
His family was definitely a
So
lot.
okay, cool. So you
He
said
knew
it
it.
was the family. Amber, do you have
Yeah.
like a checklist for when it comes to the guys you're trying to date?
Yeah.
So obviously the family didn't work out for that particular guy. Is there anything else you're always
I
checking
want
for?
to do Amber's checklist, and I want to do your checklist.
Yeah.
So my checklist would definitely have to be like a God-fearing man. And that's been interesting too, because like, especially like moving up here, meeting, cause I already went to art school back home. So I was around a lot of different cultures, but especially being in New York, you meet people, especially in the arts where it's like so many different things like religions and spirituality. And then I was reading about, you like that couple too, but Nick Jonas and what's the Indian actress's
yeah.
name? But how like
Yeah.
he's Christian and she's Hindu.
Yeah.
And so they had like their two different weddings, and I was like, what if it's something like that? Like it would be, but so that I think with God fearing, it's like we still have to, like he doesn't have to, because I was like raised in like a Baptist church, and doesn't necessarily have to be like that, but definitely has to be like. We have to be to some type of agreement, be able to pray together, and have these conversations of Jesus, and it has to be something that's solid.
Some kind of discipline in there.
Yeah,
Some
some
kind
type of discipline. Because I'm like,
routine.
how far away
Yeah.
can I go from like what I really believe in? And like, yeah, so God fearing,
sure.
kind, honest, loyal. Definitely has to have a sense of humor. Because I'm really goofy and just ridiculous all the time.
Uh-oh.
Like family oriented,
your mom's
disciplined, and like family oriented, goal oriented. Like even if I think it's the difference between not knowing what your purpose is in life, but not like aggressively going after figuring that out every day.
Right.
Like I don't necessarily know why I'm waking up every day. I don't know what God has me here on this planet for, but I'm trying to figure out.
moving towards something.
I'm doing something every day. Like I'm not just like
That's a
getting
trying
up.
spirit.
Yeah, I'm not just getting up smoking weed all day. It's like, no, that's not gonna work. Like you can smoke a little bit of weed and then go to work and do
not
something, but
all
I can't just be around a weed head. Like,
I feel that.
yeah, I think that's why even
Let's just watch a movie, babe.
Right. I'm like, you can't do all that. Are we watching a movie and taking notes because you want to be a director? You want to be a producer? You want to be the actor guy? You want to what is you want to be a
Trying to figure out the
writer?
brand.
Because I like film. I love cinema, but I'm like, dang, like
No, I just want to smoke one and watch a
yeah, I
movie.
just want to like watch Netflix all day, and I'm like, we didn't chill so much. I got bed sores. Like, we need to get up and do something. So yeah, it's just like definitely has to be a solid person. I think the older I get, the more I'm like interested in solid people in general, because I'm around so many fake people 24/7 in this industry. That's why I even like now have anxiety about like moving to the West Coast. I'm like, like I want to be around real down to earth people where it's like you're coming over just to like chat, have conversations like this versus like coming over and be like, what do you do? And that's why I don't even like.
Who do you know?
Yeah, as soon as I say I go to I graduated from Juilliard. It already
I have to say that I didn't even tell the people.
You didn't run that down.
This is a Juilliard graduate. She's been in TV shows, music videos. She's an author. You published a coloring book as well. Like
I also hear you have a talk show.
Yeah,
she has a talk show. She will plug all your stuff.
Yeah,
but
you
she does a lot.
yeah,
She's
get it out.
really that
sure.
girl.
Thank you.
For
But
sure.
yeah, I think I'm really happy of the upbringing I had in Dallas. I was just around so many different types of people, like different
Socioeconomic classes.
socioeconomic classes. But honestly, like even some of my like quote unquote like wealthy friends in high school, they were the most down to earth people because they were just chilling and like, okay, like I'm rich, whatever. So I would take different bits and pieces
Yeah, I've met a
from
few.
everybody around
That's
me.
crazy. You do that
And
too?
it's just like,
Yeah.
where it's just like
I see the connection here. You know,
Yeah.
Snell's single as well.
Oh, Never has no chill.
No, I'm just saying that's my guy. She's a great woman.
Single, huh? Okay.
If y'all have
Go
not gotten
single.
into
Mom's
any of the
here right now.
episodes, I promise you 3 episodes in a row. Just, Snell single, everyone.
I just have to let it be known that's my guy. I'm looking out for you, bro.
Thanks, bro. I
Mom's
appreciate
here right
I
now.
know he's really handsome. I like the
Let's do this.
mustache.
Thank you.
There's an instant connection. Who set it up?
God.
It's
Yo.
nothing to set. It's nothing to set it
Everything on
up.
my checklist though? Is there anything else?
Well, that's probably
Just
what you
I do wanna hear your
intelligent.
checklist, though.
I do like intelligent people too. Like what we were saying earlier, I don't like people that are just like saying trendy stuff. That drives me crazy. I'm always telling mom, I'm like, that drives me crazy when people are just like, they see stuff on Instagram and they just start repeating it. That literally like makes me cringe. And not saying that I'm the most intelligent person, but I'm like, sheesh, like open a book or like read the newspaper and really find like facts versus
They just
opinions.
repost whatever
just
everyone
repost
else is
them, like,
doing.
how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
How do
Your
you feel about it?
perspective on
But
it,
yeah, so I think that's it. Do I ever talk about anything else or?
well, it used to be tall, handsome. Used to have those.
Yeah,
things
I need
on
to
the
be
list.
attracted to the person for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
the chemistry or something has to be there before you even go on the first date with somebody. It
Right.
has to be that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of swayed somewhat from that. But I mean, I think I think the most important thing has always been
You can
at
lose
least
yourself.
when
It's okay.
Right.
okay.
the way that she was raised.
She's all we're so close.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
are.
it's very
We
rare that people
really
are like
close.
really tight with their moms. Like some people like love their moms, but a lot of people really might not necessarily like their moms and be as close. So she's like really my best friend. I'm always like, I don't really like calling everybody best friends. I don't feel like people can like really rise to the occasion, but I think I can call her and my dog my best friends. Like
Is that ever an issue with
yeah,
like
and
guys
that's what
you
I'm
date?
saying. I think it's an issue because one of the issues is that, and also like I'm in my 20s right now, and she's like a grown woman, and so she's like, but I'm like, I'm in my 20s. This is the time to explore and figure out who you are. And this is the time.
I think one of the dynamic in our relationship has always been so different. I mean, Amber grew up in the office for the first 2 years. I tell people she never had a bottle. She's always been a very mature, kind of driven kid. But being in the entertainment business, that was always a fear that I had because I saw so many of my friends raising girls and they were just all over the place.
Right.
They were wild childs. And a lot of it was because their mothers did not put them first. And I've always felt that, especially with a girl, just from what I've seen. And I didn't know if Amber was going to do entertainment, if she was going to do sports. You know, she's got 2 parents that have been in entertainment all their lives. So, and her dad started at 15 in Chicago. So you have 2 parents that have seen the good, bad, and ugly. And because of that, my thing has always been, we protect Amber's weaknesses. She'll take care of her strengths. Sometimes she can do her weaknesses, but she can, by golly, know that she's got 2 parents. She's got a mom. She even got a little dog that when the weakness comes in, we're there. We're going to protect it. We're going to cover it as much as we can. We're going to give that help and advice. So when it comes to accountability. Now, when it comes to dating, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people always felt like, Windsor must hover over Amber and blah, blah, blah. But no, it's never been like that. Amber's always been able to do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
She's always been able to have parties. People crack up sometimes when they realize I'm in the house too.
They're like, your mom's here. Oh my gosh. I'm like,
She said
they're like,
best
oh
friend.
my, yeah, she sleep. Or
Yeah,
like,
I may be back in my bed. Your man
just
Broadway
doing her
was
own
in the
thing.
back,
That's how
in
it's
the
always been,
bedroom,
even in high school.
and she did a
chilling.
deal.
I told y'all she my best
Thanksgiving.
friend.
Right. But she
did-
just
she did
chilling.
Bill Thanksgiving a year
Me
ago.
and my mom my whole life.
Yeah.
But when she did a party Thanksgiving, and so one of her friends, they're married now and they've got a baby. So me, the baby, and the dog, in the back room. My girlfriend, Miss Gloria, we all sitting around, me and Gloria and all us, we just having a good time because we helped her get all her food set up and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we're just chilling. So they never
Miss Gloria
knew.
is different. Miss Gloria is my godaunt from New Orleans.
Yeah.
She likes to stay and have a good time.
Yeah, she want to be in the party.
I guess I want to.
But I don't have to be in the party. She has her freedom.
I want to ask, I think it's really cool that your mom is there. I'm a mama's boy, so I think that's great. I think that's really cool. I have a lot of sisters, so I like being around women in general. But I'm sure, and I have friends like this, I'm sure that some guys might be like your mom's here? I don't know. Does that ever happen to where guys get nervous or they start a little standoffish?
No, I think it was maybe once I was talking to this basketball player in high school, and I don't know, he was just really out there, and I think he got upset one time because I had shared something with my mom, and he was like, "Oh, she tells her mom too." But that was the only time.
Yeah.
Usually they want to spend more time with my mom than I do.
You know what I think?
Yeah.
So that area, I think that matters in a way how maybe she may present her mom's relationship to all these other guys.
Yeah.
How you tell it, how you explain it.
Yeah.
In a way that it won't drive them away. Because I think initially, when you do hear that, it's oh, that's cool. That's cool. Your relationship with your mom, that's real cool. I think it becomes a problem when
boundaries aren't set.
Boundaries. We're going on a date and you got to hit your mom up to decide an outfit, or she helps, or she's telling you guys about the places to go. And
I honestly feel I experience that more with guys. I feel women love their sons and raise their daughters. So even if a guy really, he might not say I'm a mama's boy, I feel a lot of guys are
just that.
Yes.
I think it's a little different.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's different for the mothers of sons. I think and this is something, and I guess because of the generation as a baby boomer growing up, most black baby boomers, I can't talk for any other race or ethnicity of people, but most black baby boomers, their mothers or fathers, it was never that conversation. It was never that openness. It pretty much was, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you never were able to discuss it. My thing is, I never wanted Amber to be at a point to where she feared being able to call either her dad or her mom. And I don't care, because I tell Amber all the time, when you get in trouble, I'm going to find out.
My mom said that too.
So
that's crazy.
It's better if you respect me enough to pull me into it
An open
when it
line of
happens.
communication.
Right.
A lot of times when you get in a jam, I don't care what the jam is. It could be I'm too drunk, or me and him got into a fight on a date. You know what I mean? It happens. Me and my girls got into it. I wrecked the car. I've done different things,
Why you laughing at that? Why you laughing?
We've been there.
I just got my license. I just learned how to drive last year because, I'm not only.
Might as well tell me.
Because I'm the only child, so I'm not only spoiled by my family, but just I feel naturally, even my friends, everybody is just really protective of me. Yeah. So in high school, nobody ever taught me. They were like, "We'll just pick you up." In college, we were like, "We'll just pick you up." No. And throughout my whole life, people were always "I'll just pick you up." So I was I'm gonna learn, because we're getting older and people were getting sick. People were dying because of COVID. And so I was just freaking out last year, and just I think maybe in and out of depression too, because it was so much death around me. And I was I need to learn how to drive, because what if somebody needs me one day and I'm the only person they call, and I need to go to the hospital, Amber. I'm I can't take you because I know how to drive. So I learned how to, I did all this stuff within 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. And and then it was weird too. There was this man from India, and he was so strange. And he was he had all these questions about black women. It was the weirdest driving teacher. I was okay, I just want to learn how to drive. It was really creepy. But then I learned I had to drive. It's all a tangent, but whatever. And then I had to drive a boat in Houston for 4 hours for my friend's birthday, a few days later. But then mom came to town in Dallas, and she had her car. And she just so happens to have a nice car. So her nice car is what I've been like really getting acquainted with. And one night I was coming back from my friend's house and it was rainy, and I was trying to learn how to like back in.
Not in the rain at night.
And backing in. I mean, and at night.
It didn't end well.
It was a tangent,
I was so
but
frustrated.
Didn't end well.
I was just like, I was so frustrated. But she said, because you should be able to call, because I did not tell her.
you wrecked it a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, I wrecked my brother's car too. That's why I was when you brought it up, you started laughing. I was like, oh, here we go.
I've wrecked my mom's car before. Just a little fender.
Just a little
fender.
Just
bender.
a little fender bender.
4 times.
Wrecked.
4K.
Oh.
But you had insurance. You did not have to pay. You ended up paying.
It ended up going to Evelyn Brothers and Kansas City to
Yeah,
get
she
repaired.
did not have to.
But the damage was done.
What's a little grown without wrecking here and there?
Right, because
But I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
That was it.
She didn't get in trouble for wrecking the car.
You tried to hide it from her.
She got in trouble because she didn't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next, I didn't even realize how.
And then I
bad
get
it
up
was.
there in the day, the
I
next
knocked,
day, and
I
I'm like,
I knocked.
and then she goes, "Oh, Mom, by the way." She goes out there and she puts the deal back on the mirror. And then it's kind of like, oh, and I was just like, I go look out the window.
Were you getting ready to go somewhere, or you was just in the house?
That's just not a good way to do it, Amber. That's just not how you.
Because it was just a lot. I was like, she was about to cuss me out.
I was just like, but everybody that knows me, I mean, my guys that tell you at work, they could put a scratch on it, and if they didn't tell me, I'd fire them. They could damage it and total it out. If they told me, I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is just tell me.
Right.
And that's how I've always raised Amber. I don't care who you're dating. And I say this because I've seen it with my own eyes. I think relationships in other races, sometimes outside of the black race, the parents are a little closer. The fathers are a little closer to the sons. The mothers are a little closer to the daughters. Mm-hmm. And I believe that, and with that comes in giving advice and being that sounding board. And like I tell Amber all the time, you can't trust. You can't celebrate with everybody, and you can't trust everybody with your secrets and with your personal information. Your parents should always be. I don't care what it is. Your parents should always be that person that you can trust. Mm-hmm. Now, I know, granted, some parents are out there and they wouldn't know whatever. But if a daughter can trust her mother with her closest secrets, because and again, it goes back to what you guys were saying earlier. Sometimes when you share stuff with those girls, you know, then they put in their own thought process into it.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, oh, I hate him. Well, you know what? It's about time. Oh, girl, yes, you need to.
Right.
I can't stand to meet her, you know, because it's kind of like
for you to say.
They just waiting for you to have that bad experience.
Right.
You know, so you can say, oh, wow. You know, and I sit back, and I've always told Amber, I've always admired the Tina-Beyonce relationship. Yeah. Because I've always felt as though they've been best friends. Mm-hmm. And I believe that if you don't have that person, especially the bigger you get, because friends get fewer the higher you go, and you can't celebrate with everybody. Mm-hmm. And you sure as hell can't tell everybody the problems. I think when Beyonce came forward with the Lemonade, I don't think it happened that day. You know? I think that was something that they had already kind of gone through. Mm-hmm. Of course, the hurt is always there. You know, you cut my arm off, I may forgive you, but my arm is gone. So every time I look at my arm, I'm gonna remember that you're the one that cut it off. Right. You know, we're taught to forgive and forget. It's easier to forgive, but sometimes it's hard as hell to forget.
They have a strong family because none of their secrets get out unless they put it out there. Even Solange's friends.
Yeah, you have to hold it tight, and that's where it comes in. It comes in with, you have to know that when we're in this room, we can talk to one another. Mm-hmm. We can hold each other accountable. We respect one another, you know, but it's all done with love. Love is the first key. When you love one another and you can respect one another, there's nothing in that room that you can't talk about. You know, a mother may not want to hear her daughter say some things that she says, but it's like you sure as hell are happy.
You need to really listen that your child
friendship,
is coming to you. Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times we have to take that mother hat off and put on the friend hat.
Right.
And sometimes that's hard.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people all the time, you know, when raising Amber meant wearing a lot of different hats. You know, it meant
especially as an artist, because she's not artsy.
Yeah.
I was just telling her the other day, I was like, she's definitely like the artsy, like intellect. Like I think everybody has creativity in them. So like she is not an artist. So like, when I'm like
some of my girlfriends, they talk bad about me, you know, because they'll
like,
say,
put your big girl pants on and get back out there.
Yeah.
She does not care when I'm like on her crying. She'll listen. And then a little bit later,
some
she's like,
moments I'll listen, and then some, and then I guess that's because, you know, when you've been in entertainment, you know, mostly I'm dealing with the guys, you know, so it's a little different now to have a female. So I've seen the guy side of it. And I guess, but I tell Amber sometimes, put your big girl panties on and get on back out there. You know, and a lot of times, and she'll tell you, over the years from especially getting into Booker T, Juilliard, you know, I can remember I told her, you know, I know you're not crying in them 4 doors, those 4 walls. You better walk outside.
I've always been the underdogs. I'll go crying
one of those exits.
But
And then you call me.
That's a thing that a lot of people don't take into account when dealing with an artist is that there's so much rejection.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Like
all the time. That we may need that person to like really love on you. You know?
But that's what you need. And I think that's why sometimes when you go into the relationship, you know, you're looking for that babe, that boo, you know, somebody to just relax and just cuddle up and just kind of get away, you know, the Calgon taking me away kind of moment.
Right.
If I'm going through something, how do you make this less for me?
Yeah.
Do you know how to have that conversation with me?
Don't add to it.
And sometimes it's not even about you. In my experience, it's not about you trying to relate to your experience about what happened with me. You know what I mean? It's about you trying to, don't take it off of me almost. Like let's acknowledge what just happened. Let's acknowledge while I'm here, why I'm sad. And let's like, you know, try to have that conversation with me. And that is something you're looking for in a date. Speaking of the many hats that you wear, do you manage, Amber?
I help her quite a bit, but no, I bring in professional teams to help. But I think I
wish she could manage me though.
Really?
I want her to, because the more research I do about the people I look up to in the industry, like a Beyonce or a Usher, or I'm not a Kim Kardashian fan, but that family we all see it. Who else?
Brandy and Ray J.
Brandy and Ray J. I mean, really, like, because I love me some like Usher, Brandy, Beyonce, and when I study them, I'm like, wow, they have the strong family.
You know what to say from all of those names? The careers are still here.
And that's the thing. It's like,
but you know why?
I want to be. I am a timeless artist.
But you know why?
Stay with me.
But you know why? It goes back to what I said. The parent is able. They know that child. I know this child. As I always say, I birthed this child. I know this child. I know this beast as an artist. I know her weaknesses. See, I know her strengths. The whole world sees the strengths. But see, when we're in this room, this is where we have to deal with the weaknesses.
Right.
And we're going to get there. You know, I read stories. I talk to some of the other mothers that some of the ones that she just mentioned. Sonia Norwood and I speak. It's about time for me to call her because it's been a couple months now. But
slight flex.
But you know what it does, it really helps keep us grounded.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, moving forward in like Amber's relationships with guys, do you think that, let's say she's in a relationship and it goes on to marriage and whatnot, how much of that is her husband's responsibility?
Oh, you got to step up.
Do you know what I mean? And because
I truly believe,
that okay for you?
I truly believe the man is supposed to be the leader at the home, and that's how I've taught her.
That. Yeah.
And the problem becomes if he can't lead this one. Now, again, I know the strengths and the weaknesses.
Right.
I know how strong she is.
Yeah,
As
I'll
an
run
independent
over a
female.
guy if he can't.
So
like-
guess what?
I've
Homeboy
seen
has
so
to be
many-
at least
Exactly.
if Amber's here
Yeah.
with her strong strength as an independent black female, then he's got to be up here.
Yeah.
Because she's got to be able to look up to him.
And because
Yeah.
I was
And to be
raised
pushed.
around
Or
so
she's
many
got to be able to look up to
independent,
him.
strong
For sure.
women, I've had to
Yes.
train myself to make space for a man. Like I go to couples usually for advice. There's only so much advice she can give me until I have to go to people that are together and ask like, okay, how have you been together for this long? Like older couples and whatnot, and really are, are like women that are in relationships. I get that advice because I've had to train myself to make space for a man to like ask for help. Because even right now, there's a guy that I'm dating, and then I was like moving a shelf, and he was like, "Why did you just call me? Like, why didn't you just ask for help?" And I was like, "I don't know. You're busy, and I just didn't call." And he was like, "I just don't understand you." So I'm like still learning, but yeah, it's like
You have to ask.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
You're gonna take care of your strength.
yeah.
And that's the thing. I think she's going to have someone that understands her business. He's got to be okay with it.
For sure.
Yeah, it has to be a confident
everybody
man,
can't-
like a secure man.
Can't do it.
They
You
can't.
know, how
They
can
don't
you have
let
a
a
woman
woman
in
get all
business?
that.
Everybody
attention.
can't do it, but I know someone who probably could. I know someone who probably could.
He's working over there.
He,
He
he
working.
may be up to
We
the
gotta-
challenge.
He
No,
working.
you were listing your checklist, and I was like, I got a good 5 out of 5, 6.
He's like, I'm kind of there.
Because I think I got a good 10 almost.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Almost there.
I could sit here and talk with you guys forever, but we
Yeah.
do.
I know
we
you
need
gotta
to
wrap
this
it.
up.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
wrap it.
Come back.
But this is
Yeah,
great.
please.
This is great.
For sure.
But yeah, that's I think in dating, as you guys as millennials, you young guns, as we say, I always say take your time. Don't get so lonely that you become overindulging. And I think all of you
That's
guys.
the title.
Oh my
That's,
god.
oh, that's
All
the
of
title.
you guys-
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't want to be overindulging because you long for that bae, that boo.
That you
You know,
end up settling.
So don't settle because it was good.
You're longing.
Sometimes that's not the 5-star meal. See, you can eat at Burger King all day long and you can be satisfied and you can overindulge.
Gotta work hard for
But
the
I
steakhouse.
definitely would love to go to the Palm if I'm going to get a burger.
Love.
She's
Okay.
dropping gems. You
So,
heard it here first.
Don't
on Moderately Fly.
overindulge when you don't have to.
You heard it here first on Moderately Fly. Thank you, Amber, and thank you, Miss Windsor, for coming.
Thank y'all so
You're
much.
so
This is
welcome.
great.
Thank you for having us here. This
Of
was
course.
great.
Thank you so much.